good, YouTube? It's your girl, Bofina1, bringing you guys another YouTube video. And today we're going to do another podcast where we talk about various topics that are essentially trending right now in the world and just in general, topics that I think are relatively interesting. So the first one is the stimulus package or check that a lot of people are talking about. So as of right now, the information that is currently out is that many of us will be receiving our stimulus check this upcoming week. So week ending 4/18. So this check is basically kind of what it sounds like, a stimulus check that will allow for those of us that are like, if you're single and you make under, I believe it's like 70,000 or 75,000, you receive 1,200, as well as an extra, I believe it's like 500 or so or something like that per child that you have. So it's basically to help stimulate the economy, as for those who don't know, due to the coronavirus, many people have lost their jobs, whether that is in the restaurant industry, the bar industry. A lot of people have lost their jobs. Over like 6 million Americans are now applying for unemployment. Unemployment is a little bit better now because of what's going on. Supposedly, I haven't actually seen or heard anyone actually confirm this, but supposedly unemployment is going to be paying people up to $600 a week. So if you do that times 4, 600,000, 200,000, 800, that's $2,400 that you'll be receiving a month, which for some people, I hate to say it, but for some people, depending on what their income is, they might be getting more possibly from unemployment than they were working at their actual job. So a lot of people, I would imagine, would try to maybe stay on unemployment as long as they can. I don't know if it's going to be, like now it's currently 6 months. I don't know, due to all this stuff that's going on, is it going to, can you get on unemployment longer than 6 months, or is it only for 6 months? Is it up to a year? Because like I said, right now we just don't know how long this shutdown is going to be. We just don't know what's going to happen right now. A lot of stuff is kind of just up in the air. I live in Illinois, so right now we're on shutdown. There's been discussion that there will possibly be a curfew input, which is basically meaning that, hey, you only can be out at this time. Everything is basically shut down here that's not considered essential. So the only thing that's really open right now is grocery stores. Restaurants are open, but that's only for takeout, so you can't go in and eat at them. So it's not really a whole lot open. You can still go to the park. Well, not really, because now what happened in Chicago with all those people, we had a couple days last week or the week before, it was really nice out, and a lot of people were out playing basketball, playing tennis, and I would say they kind of ruined it for the rest of us, because now all the parks are shut down. So meaning, you can, if a park has, let's say a track to run, you can still go to the park and get on the track and walk around and run. But if the park has it's actually a park has swing sets and slides, you can't get on that, which kind of sucks, because a lot of kids have been out of school for over a month now, and the park was probably kind of a place where they could at least go kind of run around, get off some of that steam of sitting in the house. The parents could take them, so now all they can really go do is just walk around. So that kind of sucks a lot too, if you think about it. But that's a lot of kind of what's going on. Another topic that I kind of wanted to touch on with this whole coronavirus thing is people's mental health. There's been a lot of stories of people shooting themselves and their family, because their family members are telling them hey, we don't want you to go out, we don't feel comfortable with you going out or going over someone's house. Or for example, there was an incident where a guy killed himself due to he felt like he was just so alone, being in the house, as well as there's been a lot of issues with domestic violence. You have a lot of people that live with someone that is physically abusive to them, and now with them living in the house, they don't go to work, no one's leaving the house. So for example, you have a lot of people that live in a house that's very toxic, and whether it's the child, they get a chance to go to school, or the parent, whoever, they go to work, there's a sense of, I guess you could say, relief from them not being in the house. Well, now they're in the house 24/7, so they're arguing more, there's more issues. People are experiencing a lot of issues where they feel like they can't call for help because of the coronavirus. They feel like, hey, I can't call 911. I can't call anybody to come help me if something was to happen. Because a lot of people, if you don't know, like in hospitals and stuff right now, and like doctor's appointments, a lot of doctor's appointments have been canceled for a lot of people because of this whole coronavirus thing going on. So a lot of people are kind of left on a limb, so it's like, it's kind of like a tit for tat, or kind of like a really big issue, because you have a lot of people that, put it like this, right? You have a lot of people that have other issues that are not related to the coronavirus. Like let's say someone that has cancer, or let's say someone that maybe is a diabetic, or someone that, like just different things they need to go to the doctor for because they have different underlying issues. Well, now they're telling people like, hey, stay at home, cancel your appointment, don't come in. We're pushing your appointment back like 3 months or more, which I can understand why they're doing it, because they're trying to protect the people that don't have the coronavirus from the people that do. But at the same time, some of these folks actually really need, they need to go to the doctor to get what they, like their treatments, so that's another thing I think that's been really frustrating for a lot of people. Just in general, there seems like there's a lot of confusion, a lot of what's going to happen, what ifs, how long are we going to be on lockdown? That's the biggest thing, I think, is how long are we going to be on lockdown? I know they're starting to say that there's a slight curve, or it's starting to flatten out a little bit, meaning that the amount of people that are getting infected is starting to slow down. So if the amount of people that are getting infected slows down, that means the amount of deaths will begin to slow down. Because, if you guys don't know, like in New York, they're dropping like flies up there. They're not trying to make a joke, but they are. They're dropping like flies, and it's because of how they live. Honestly, like people are so. What kills me is people. They're like, oh, why are so many people dying in there? Why are so many people getting infected? And I get it, maybe because maybe you've never been to New York, and maybe you've never seen pictures, but New York is congested in general. It's kind of like the US version of China in a sense, right? Where China is overly populated. There's way too many people that live there. It's the same thing like in New York. There's way too many people that live in New York, and they all are in close proximity. If you ever were to go to New York and go on their like the L, like the train, you would see how packed they are. Like you think in like some cities it's packed. Like no, it's really packed there. Their traffic, like people don't drive. Like people literally try to walk and take the train as much as possible. Or if you've been somewhere like Times Square, people are literally on top of each other. So they never really practice social distancing to begin with, which is, if you've been keeping up with the news and reading up on the coronavirus, it's airborne. So meaning that me and you could be sitting next to each other. I could have it be breathing on you or cough, and you could catch it that way. So if you have all these people that are packed so closely together, so tightly together, like sardines, well, that's what will happen. It's going to spread more and more. So I mean, that's kind of some of the issues that we're facing right now. And the vaccination, the other thing is with it is that, okay, let's say it does begin to flatten out, and the people that, because the news doesn't talk about the people that are recovering. Like there's been over 200, 300,000 people that have actually recovered from this. They never talk about the people that have recovered. They only talk about the people that die, which I really wish that they would tell the people that are recovering, just because I think the news and the media is making people freak out more about this situation than they should. I'm not saying that the illness is not serious, no, but I also think that people don't look at like the flu, how many people that die from the flu, how many people that get infected by the flu, or how many people that have died when the whole Ebola situation came out. Like people don't, I feel like the news doesn't talk about the positives. They only try to talk about the negatives. So all the people that are dying, they don't talk about the people that are actually surviving this, and why are they not interviewing those people? But the issue with that is that because there is no vaccination like the flu, or the swine flu, all that stuff, it can come back again. You can get infected even when you get the vaccination, but your chances are a lot lower, right? So the issue with this is, so germs in general, which is why in the wintertime more people get sick than they do in the spring and summer. Germs love to be in the cold weather. That's how they strive off of bad weather. Where in the summertime, it's harder for it to spread, and it's harder for them to, I guess, manifest or fester in general. So that's why you see a lot less people sick in the summer and springtime, and more people sick in the winter time. So that's one of the biggest issues, is that there needs to be a vaccination, because what's going to happen is you're going to have people that are going to get sick again. Or you might have people that maybe, like, for example, with this wave, maybe people didn't get sick. But then let's say come like the fall or winter time, the people that maybe didn't get sick in the winter like earlier in the year of 2020, but they get sick towards the winter, later in 2020, they have a chance of catching it. Or the people that maybe did get it, they might catch it again, and let's say maybe their body may not be able to fight that off again, because a lot of people are asymptomatic, meaning that a lot of people have it and they just don't know. And then you have some people that have really bad symptoms, where they have to be in the hospital on a ventilator. So we really just don't know the severity of this situation, and how long it's going to take for vaccination, which is supposedly like 12 to 18 months, something like that. So a year to a year and a half, roughly, or something like that. So it's scary, to think about that this germ can be spreading around for so long, as well as the whole discrimination against people that are of the, I guess, Chinese or Asian, Philippine descent. A lot of people are saying a lot of derogatory things. They're discriminating towards them because of the whole thing that Trump said, that he feels like, oh, this is a disease that came from China, So it's automatically assumed that, oh, if you're Asian or Chinese, that, oh, you have it and you're the reason why it's being spread. Like, people are literally getting hurt because of this. And it's kind of sad. It's almost kind of like what happened with the whole 9/11 thing. People that are like, Indian, Pakistan, they still are stereotyped, but anytime like you go to an airport, people always look at them different because of what happened. It's like one, or like, well, I mean, it was more than one person that was a part of it, but you get what I'm saying. Like, a few bad people mess up, and then it affects the rest of the world, or the whole rest of the race, and how people look at them. It's the same thing that kind of happened with the whole thing in Chicago, where everybody was out that day, and it probably wasn't that many people if you compare it to the rest of the city, but because those individuals were out there playing basketball and tennis, they went down and shut down all the parks. So now people can't take their kids out on the swings, on the slides, and it's really unfortunate, because like I said, so many people are on lockdown that's their only sense of excitement. They maybe they go meet up and have a play date, because people don't feel comfortable really going over each other's houses, because you just don't know what people have, so at least you kind of feel a little better, like, hey, we can go out, at least we can kind of keep our social distancing, and our kids can play, we can kind of talk to their parents. There's a little bit of socialization, as well as the kids are getting exercise. Maybe the parents join in and get some exercise as well, which is another thing, is that a lot of people, in terms of, I feel like it stopped people's progression, right? Like, even for me, like, I was doing personal training, and the gyms are closed, like the YMCA's, the Planet Fitness, I think another one's like X Fitness. All these places are closed, so it's harder for people to necessarily work out. A lot of people don't necessarily live in a house, or live in a place where they have enough room to have like an in-house studio, like a workout studio, I guess, where you can have like a space to do home tapes, or whatever that might be. So that's the other issue that a lot of people are facing right now, is they were talking about, like, the next few months people are going to really gain a lot of weight, and the obesity rate is going to go up, because like I said, people are not able to be as active. Not everybody likes to work out outside, as well as a lot of people, I think, are also afraid of working out outside because of the whole social distancing. And just like, even in my house, like, we have room where I can do a workout tape, but I don't have all the weights and stuff that I like to use at the YMCA, you know what I mean? And like personal training, well, that's not going to work, because your personal trainer is a person that they get kind of personal up close on you. So the whole social distancing thing, well, that just doesn't really pan out too well. So it's just a lot of little things that you don't think about it, but it does affect you, or like just stuff maybe you want to do. Like, for example, I was thinking about really starting up vlogging, right? But it's like, where are you gonna vlog? Where are you gonna go, to the grocery store and back? It's not a whole lot to really do. Or people that maybe have businesses, like I know I wanted to start, hopefully sometime this year, I wanted to start giving out t-shirts, start doing t-shirts and stuff. And that I can't go to a t-shirt printing shop and get my stuff made. So it's really slowed down the production, or some of the things that people people want to do. And that's where the whole thing I would see on Facebook or like Twitter, I mean, I agree with it in some ways, where people's like, oh, if you don't come out of this quarantine with like starting a business or, you know, a new hobby. Part of it is true. I mean, I do believe there because of the world that we live in now, with all the technology that we have and all the accessible things that we have that you can do on your phone or on your computer, there are ways, like if you want to start YouTube, you know, you really don't have to have anything but internet access, because you can download free software, you can find music, you can find editing software, you can find recording software for free, because that's what I used for a long time before I upgraded to stuff, you know, that was better quality. I used a lot of free software for a very, 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 very long time, until I, you know, had the money to pay for software that wasn't free. So that's what I'm saying, like, there are ways to do things that you want to do, but there are some things that people want to do that maybe if you can't get out, you can't do them. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, maybe your business is like a lot of beauty shops and barber shops. Well, they're not considered essential, and because you have to be close and kind of personal on someone to do their hair, they are missing out on money right now. So it's really frustrating for a lot of people. You know, just some of the stuff maybe you want to do, or even conventions, concerts. Like I had a lot of plans, a lot of stuff I wanted to do. I wanted to go to Canada. I wanted to go to Michigan. You know, just a lot of stuff I wanted to do. Is like, well, I'm not going to do that. And even when this stuff blows over, I'm not going to be necessarily super gun-ho to just jump and start, you know, traveling again. You know, people are going to be afraid to do a lot of stuff just for a long time, even just stuff like going to the movies. You know, it's crazy. But on a positive end, things like the gaming world, like Twitch, gaming in general, Steam, those have blown up excessively. I remember I made a video not too long ago about how I was talking about in China, how video games had literally skyrocketed because, you know, people can't go out and they want to still socialize with their friends. So the way that they're doing that is by socializing online. I know Netflix has a new feature, I believe now. I don't know if you have to pay extra for it, but I know a lot of people are having like movie parties where they'll watch a Netflix movie together and then they type in the chat like, hey, oh, that was funny, oh, I really enjoyed that, or whatever the case is. They'll talk via chat. So it's like a sense of, yes, you're by yourself, you're not actually at a movie theater, not actually with these people, but you can still have a sense of socialization in some way or another. You know, Twitch, all these sites, like I said, they're blowing up. A lot of the gaming, like PlayStation, I know, for example, they have a lot of games that are on sale right now. So they're definitely profiting off of all this. And just in general, you know. So yeah, guys, those kind of just like my thoughts. I wanted to talk about some of the new topics that are rising. Like I said, I want to try to keep doing a lot of these podcasts. I really enjoy them. If you guys have any topics that you want to hear me talk about, comment them down below. You know, hey, I'll talk about them, or maybe you want to just hear my thoughts on them, or maybe a Q&A, like maybe there's some questions in general that you want me to talk about in the next video. I'll talk about it, or I'll answer it if I feel like it's appropriate. But like I said, let me know what are the topics you guys want me to talk about, because like I said, I got plenty of them, so I'm going to keep trying to pump out these podcasts. I genuinely just like them because I think it's nice to have videos that are kind of free form, where you could just talk and, you know, you're just speaking how you feel. I mean, that's really what a podcast is you talking about whatever it is you want to talk about, kind of free forming it and thoughts of it. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, thumbs up, comment, share, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.